Hi Chem 110H, Dr. Bevilacqua here. I thought I'd go through homework 2, question 3, which deals with the error from the two different approaches to pipetting, the TA's advice and the lab partner's advice. Let's begin with the TA's advice. So the first thing that has to be done is to make the stock solution. And we're told that we need 1.00 milliliters of a 1.00 molar stock solution of silver nitrate. So what's done here is to take 100.0 plus or minus 0.1 milliliters of solution, as is given in the instructions to the problem. And then we can take the formula weight of silver nitrate as 169.87 grams per mole. And in order to make 100 milliliters of this, we're going to need 0.1 moles or 16.987 grams of silver nitrate. And then we can go ahead and divide that by the formula weight to get the number of moles of silver nitrate. And then we can divide that by the volume. In this case, we're told that we can measure this volume to an accuracy of plus or minus 0.1 milliliters by using a burette. And so that allows us to go out to the fourth significant figure. And when we go ahead and do the math, we get 1.000 molar silver nitrate. How do we know that there's 4 sig figs? Well, because this first term has 5 sig figs in the numerator, 5 in the denominator, and the second term has 4 sig figs in the denominator. And so we know that using the rules of multiplication and division, that our final answer will have 4 sig figs. And we can take the error as out into the last decimal point, or 1.000 plus or minus 0.001 molar silver nitrate. So the next thing that we're going to need to do is pipette the stock solution. We're told that we're going to need 1.00 milliliters of the stock solution, but we have on hand a pipette that will only deliver 0.5 milliliters. So we're going to have to pipette twice. And those two pipettings, each is going to be half of a milliliter, 0.50, plus or minus 0.02 milliliters, as is given in the problem. We do that twice. When we add together the amounts, 0.5 and 0.5 gives us 1.00 milliliters. The question is how to propagate the error in the 0.02. If we simply added them together, what we would put in here is 0.04 milliliters. But when we apply the rules for error propagation, which I went through in the previous screencast, so if you haven't looked at that, you may want to go back and take a look at that. But when we apply those rules, we end up with this form, and this is simply equal to the square root of 2, which is approximately 1.4, times 0.02. Or in other words, we end up with about 0.028. We usually only keep one significant figure, the last significant figure here, in our error, or plus or minus 0.03. We can go ahead and drop that number in here, and we can see that the error is less than 0.02 plus 0.02. So in other words, using this method of error propagation is in some ways more forgiven, and that's because sometimes the errors are going to cancel each other. Sometimes one will be plus and one will be minus. So the last thing we want to do is to calculate how many millimoles will come from delivering the stock solution. And we take our 1.00 plus or minus 0.03 milliliters from the previous page, and we multiply that by the concentration of silver nitrate, which is 1 molar plus or minus 0.001 molar, as we saw from the first page. In order to do this, we can consider units, and what I like to do is molar is, of course, moles per liter, but we can consider this as millimoles per milliliter. As long as we make the same change to the numerator and the denominator, we end up with the same value, and now we can go ahead and cancel milliliters. And once we do that, our final answer is going to come out in millimoles, and we can see, of course, that it's going to be 1 times 1, or 1 millimole. The question is about the error. And so because we're multiplying, we now use relative error, and so we take the relative error in the first term, 0.03 over 1.00. It becomes unitless when milliliters cancel. Likewise, we take the relative error in the second term, 0.001, divided by 1.000. Right here, molar over molar becomes unitless. When we do this math, we can see that the first term is going to dominate, and what we get is approximately 0.03 coming from the first term. And this tells us that the error is 3% of 1.00 millimoles, or that we've delivered 1.00 plus or minus 0.03 millimoles. We can now go on and look at the lab partner's advice. And again, we have to do the same 3 steps. Make the stock solution, pipette it, and then calculate how many millimoles come from the stock solution. The first step, in this case, the lab partner suggested that there was no need to make 100 milliliters of the stock solution, that 2 milliliters would be more than enough since we're only going to need to pipette 1 milliliter. So you go ahead and make the stock solution this way, and because there's 4 pipettings, this ends up being 2% error, which you can show by applying the same math that we did back on the first page of this screencast. Pipetting the stock solution, because it's 1.00 milliliters of stock solution, it's still 3% error, as we saw on the second page of the screencast. And then when we go to calculate the number of millimoles from the stock solution, we propagate the relative error. 2% from up here is this term, 3% from here is that term, and when we do that, we end up with 3.6%, or that we deliver 1.00 plus or minus 0.04 millimoles. And so in the end, the error is slightly larger using the lab partner's advice than using the TA's advice. However, the difference is it's really kind of slight. It was only plus or minus 0.03 using the TA's advice. The one advantage that the lab partner's advice has is a whole lot less waste. Here there's only 1 milliliter left over, whereas in the case of the TA's advice there would be 99 milliliters left over. So the lab partner's advice is a sort of a much more green way of doing this. Thanks for listening.